This is episode 83 of the Super Parent Syndrome. I am your host, Dr. Nick Fanning. We're going to talk about what's the point. Sit back, relax, let's get started.
Parenting in the 21st century is ever evolving. And while you balance work, kids, and your sanity, it's easy to feel discouraged. Welcome to the Super Parent Syndrome with your host, Dr. Nick Fanning.
All right, so in sales, in business, in life, it is important for you to actually understand what the heck you're doing. Like, really, what are you selling? What are you providing? And what the whole point is. Now, what I mean by this is I don't even mean like actual product or sales. I'm talking about even being a parent. Like, what's the point of you being a parent? Because here's the thing. Some parents, they're like, hey, you know what? My whole point is I'm taking care of my children. I'm going to raise them to be certain XYZ. And on the day-to-day, my job is to entertain them. Meaning like, wait a minute, what? No, your job is not potentially to entertain them. It might be for you, but my job is not to entertain my children. My job is to make sure that they are safe and they grow up to be strong, independent, well-secured children. Okay, now here's the thing. Like when I say it is not my job to entertain my children, does not mean I'm not going to play with my kids, but it does mean that I'm not going to hold their hand all day and I'm not going to make sure that they play what I am playing all day. It means that I'm going to go back and forth between my stuff and their stuff, gently guiding, make sure I course correct if they get into a fight, because if you have children, you know they will fight. But then also, I want them being independent. I want them to be creative and imaginative. And if I am not there, just like telling them the story and telling them a game and playing with that, they will get bored and they will whine about it. But then after they get bored and they will whine about it, they will start to do something about it. And that doing something about it is where the magic happens. Okay. Now that's just one example. Okay. As a parent, my job is not to entertain my children. And if you can get clear about what your actual job is and what you're actually providing your kids, your spouse, your clients, whatever it may be, you're going to be that much more effective. Okay. Now here's another example. Let's say that you were selling jewelry. Okay. Now that's one way of thinking, as I sell jewelry. Okay. The other thing is that you might be able to say is that I sell memories, or I sell security. So like, let's say you specialize in selling diamond rings for engagements. And so here's the thing. You're not selling a jewelry. You're not selling an engagement ring. You're selling a symbol. You're selling a representation of commitment. Okay. Now, do you understand like the whole concept of that? Now, if you can get that through your head, imagine two people. One is a jewelry salesperson who sells jewelry, and the other one's a jewelry salesperson who sells commitment, security, and, whatever it is, a symbol. Okay. Who do you think is going to be more effective? Right? Because that person is going to be focusing on exactly what the whole purpose and point of this. It's like this, somebody who is looking for a certain tool, let's say that they need, they're looking for a drill. What they're trying to buy is something to drill a hole. Okay. And they're not trying to buy a drill. They're trying to get a hole. And if you can help them get that hole faster and better, more effectively, then yes, you're going to be one hell of a drill salesperson, but you're not trying to sell, the drills. They don't want to drill. They want a hole. Okay, so this is going to be one of those concepts that can be super simple. Once it clicks, it's going to click. And for some, it's not. Now, here's the thing. Even as a spouse, okay, you need to figure out what your spouse's needs are, okay, and figure out what are you trying to provide them. Because here's the thing. Like, for some of us, they're thinking like, oh, I just need to cook and clean and take care of the dishes and stuff like that. Sorry about the train. I should have it paused. And for some, that's not going to matter at all. For example, my wife, she wouldn't care if I cleaned the house. She wouldn't care if I cooked all the meals. Okay. She doesn't want that. She doesn't want that in a spouse. She does not want a roommate. And I certainly don't want a roommate either. So there's a lot of things that you can save yourself. And we talked about this in love languages. If you can understand exactly what the heck that the other person wants, then you're going to save yourself a lot of anger, a lot of frustration, a lot of emotion, because you're going to be able to give that much faster. So I want you to have that activity in your head as you start thinking about the people in your lives. Your spouse, your children, your coworkers, your boss. Or if you are your boss, think about the clients, okay? And especially think about the clients, because what do they really want? If you're a sports or an athlete, I'm sorry, but your clients, fans want entertainment. And so there are some people who are fantastic at providing entertainment. Floyd Mayweather, amazing at providing entertainment. Now, some people will say like, well, he's defiling the sport, or he's not, he's kind of cheapening the history of the sport. I'm sorry, but the clients, all the pay-per-view channels, everything like that, they're eating it up because he's providing entertainment. So think about that in your own life and watch it explode. So you're going to have homework. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the newsletter, so it gets the link to this podcast gets delivered right to your newsletter or your email, plus the action guide, which has homework, which has a quote, which has action steps, and it makes it super simple. Okay, for some that don't have time to listen to these reading assignments are way easier, so make sure you subscribe to that. 2, if you're not already on the Facebook page, please do so, because here's the thing. I've had people start to ask me, hey, what can I do for next level stuff? This podcast is great, but what if I want more? Well, guess what? Details are going to be probably released there first. So if you want to be on the cutting edge, get on our Facebook page as well. Links are in the show notes. So folks, I honor you. Thank you for your time. And this is Dr. Nick Fanning signing off.
Thanks for listening to another episode of The Super Parent Syndrome. Please be sure to visit peptalksforparents.com for more content and our free newsletter. And remember, you are not alone.